The galaxy had waited for words, ambassadors, treaties, protocols. They expected negotiation, careful diplomacy, and a civilized exchange of ideas. They didn't expect jets, not screaming F-22 Raptors tearing through the clouds at supersonic speed. Not pilots with eyes like steel and hearts of fire, engines roaring louder than any plea for peace. Not humanity sending a message in contrails of defiance and missiles streaking like comets of warning. In that instant, every alien observer learned a truth they had never considered. When humans act, the universe listens. And sometimes, it burns. The galaxy had expected diplomacy. A delegation of ambassadors would arrive in their sleek silver ships, carrying messages of peace and promises of cooperation. Across hundreds of light years, intelligent species prepared for negotiation, confident in their ability to read, persuade, and control. But they hadn't counted on humans. The first F-22 Raptor pierced the stratosphere, engines screaming, contrails glowing gold against the darkening clouds. The second followed, then the third, until a formation of pilots carved the sky into a pattern of audacity. Each jet was a statement. We do not negotiate. We act. Colonel Avery "Hawk" Turner gripped his throttle, eyes scanning the horizon where the alien fleet shimmered like liquid metal. Beside him, Lieutenant Kara "Shadow" Nguyen adjusted her visor, muscles coiled, heart racing. They were ready, not for diplomacy, but for demonstration. The alien vessels hovered, massive and impossibly sleek, their silver hulls reflecting light in patterns that no human eye could fully process. From their bridge, the alien envoy tilted his head, attempting to decipher the human formation. Logic suggested they would wait. Protocol demanded patience, but humans had other plans. With a roar that echoed across the ocean below, the Raptors dove in synchronized precision, missiles locked, engines pushing past every limit. The first pulse of fire illuminated the sky, a declaration of intent. The galaxy had expected words, they received action. And in that instant, the rules of engagement changed forever. The earth below was a patchwork of blue oceans, sprawling cities, and silent deserts. From space it looked fragile, almost delicate, a planet no alien would expect to defend itself so ferociously. Yet on its surface preparations were anything but fragile. Across continents air bases buzzed with activity, satellites tracked every movement of the alien fleet, and command centers analyzed countless variables. Colonel Avery "Hawk" Turner moved through the hangar with quiet authority. In his early 40s, Hawk's face carried the subtle lines of experience, eyes steel gray and sharp as a hawk's, always scanning, always calculating. His flight suit was worn, patched in places from countless sorties, and his calm demeanor concealed the adrenaline that surged beneath. He was the leader every pilot needed, focused, decisive, unflinching. Beside him was Lieutenant Kara "Shadow" Nguyen, the youngest pilot in the squadron and the newest prodigy. Petite, with dark hair pulled tight under her helmet, she moved with a predator's grace. Her eyes were fierce brown, filled with determination and the kind of focus that could pierce both enemy lines and doubt. She had earned her call sign for her uncanny ability to appear where needed, strike precisely, and vanish before the enemy could react. "Formation ready," Hawk said, voice steady, cutting through the hum of the hangar. Kara nodded. "All systems green. We're ready for whatever comes." The alien fleet loomed beyond the stratosphere, a silent, metallic threat that pulsed faintly with violet energy. Their ships were enormous, crescent-shaped, each bristling with unknown weaponry. The envoy on the flagship observed the human preparations with a mix of curiosity and disbelief. He had expected careful negotiations, speeches, and formalities, not pilots screaming toward him at supersonic speed. On Earth, behind the scenes, Dr. Ilara Voss analyzed energy readings from the fleet. Mid-30s, sharp-featured and endlessly precise, she had been called in because no ordinary scientist could make sense of the alien technology. Every pulse wave and distortion she observed was carefully logged and modeled, feeding data to the pilots in real time. Her role was invisible but crucial, the mind behind the tactics humans were about to employ. As the Raptors lifted off, engines roaring, the world held its breath. Civilians on beaches in cities and even in remote outposts paused to watch jets streak overhead. There was awe, fear, and a thrill of unity. Humanity was about to demonstrate what the galaxy had refused to imagine. Above the clouds, Hawk and Kara assumed formation. Missiles armed, radar locked, and every instinct honed to a razor's edge. The alien fleet had thought diplomacy would suffice. Humanity had thought otherwise, and the first strike would ensure that the galaxy would never make that mistake again. The alien fleet had formed a massive, crescent-shaped barricade above the Atlantic. Each ship pulsed with energy, shields shimmering violet, their smaller fighters darting like hornets around the edges. The humans could see them clearly now, sleek, alien, precise, but no matter how advanced their weapons seemed, Hawk knew one thing: humans had something the aliens hadn't counted on. Lock targets, Hawk commanded, voice cutting through the roar of engines. Missiles armed. Stay sharp, don't get greedy. Kara Shadow Nguyen tightened her grip on the throttle. Her jet twisted and weaved, a blur of metal and intent. She scanned the horizon, eyes flicking to the nearest alien fighter, then to the mothership, then back to her squadron. The alien pilots were fast, maneuverable, and utterly unpredictable, but so were humans. The first exchange erupted suddenly. Alien energy pulses lanced toward the Raptors, scorching clouds and forcing evasive maneuvers. Hawk banked sharply, missiles streaking past his wings, exploding against the hull of a pursuing alien fighter. Kara followed, weaving through enemy fire, her own missile finding its mark with precise impact, sending a fighter spinning into the ocean below. Confirmed kill, she shouted. The alien fleet responded with cascading pulses, creating turbulence that shook human jets violently. Radar flickered. Instruments glitched. The squadron adapted, relying on manual control, instincts honed from countless hours of training and sheer human audacity. Shadow, cover Viper 4, Hawk barked. Kara rolled her jet, intercepting another alien craft attempting to flank their wing. With a flash of skill, she fired, the fighter disintegrating mid-air in a violet explosion. Below, civilian ships scrambled out of the path of the engagement, guided by naval escorts and radar alerts. The battle wasn't just about destruction, it was about proving humanity's willingness to defend its own. Every maneuver, every strike was both a tactical decision and a declaration. Humans would not submit. The alien envoy observed from his flagship, confusion and incredulity crossing his face. These humans were more than fast, more than reckless, they were intelligent in their unpredictability. They adapted faster than any algorithm the aliens had devised, learning, countering, and exploiting weaknesses mid-flight. Hawk's voice was calm but deadly over the comms. Concentrate fire on the southern cruiser. Its shields fluctuate. We hit it. We disrupt their formation. The squadron executed with precision. Missiles tore into the cruiser's hull, energy panels sparking and flickering under the assault. Smaller fighters faltered, their coordination breaking as the humans exploited every weakness. Kara's hands were steady on the controls despite the adrenaline screaming through her veins. We're proving a point, she muttered to herself. They thought they could intimidate us. They didn't know humans fight to protect what they love. The first conflict ended with a mix of victory and awareness. The humans had held their ground, inflicted significant damage, and sent a message. The galaxy's assumptions about humanity were dangerously wrong. But Hawk knew this was only the beginning. The aliens would adapt. They would strike harder, and humanity would have to be ready, not just to survive, but to dominate through ingenuity, courage, and relentless defiance. Above the clouds, the Raptor formation regrouped, engines humming, missiles rearmed, and eyes steeled. Humanity had entered the game, and the first move had been devastatingly clear. Underestimate humans at your peril. The first clash was over, but the repercussions rippled across Earth and the stars alike. In the skies above the Atlantic, the remaining alien scouts regrouped, moving with hesitation for the first time. Their motherships hovered at a cautious distance, shields flickering from human missile strikes. The envoy on the flagship narrowed his glowing violet eyes, analyzing the humans' tactics, trying to comprehend their unpredictability. They had expected fear, hesitation, negotiation, and instead they had encountered precision, courage, and something their calculations couldn't account for: human ingenuity under pressure. Below, at global command centers, the atmosphere was electric. Analysts, military officials, and scientists watched the live feeds in tense silence, then erupted into controlled chaos. Screens displayed the aftermath of the first skirmish: damaged alien fighters drifting in the ocean, scorched contrails marking the paths of human jets, and the undeniable fact that humanity had struck first and survived. Dr. Alara Voss leaned over her console, reviewing energy readings from the battle. "They're learning," she muttered, adjusting simulations. "But we're learning faster. Every pulse, every maneuver, it feeds our understanding. The aliens think they're studying us, but in reality we're studying them too." In cities around the world, citizens watched the news with awe and fear. Social media exploded with grainy satellite images and videos captured by commercial drones. Messages spread faster than thought. Humanity was fighting back. Humanity was alive. Humanity was unyielding. Even those who had doubted the military, who had dismissed the possibility of interstellar conflict, now felt the visceral thrill of pride and disbelief. At Nellis Air Force Base, Hawk and Kara debriefed with squadron members. The pilots were exhilarated, but the tension lingered. Casualties had been avoided, but the battle had revealed the aliens' capabilities and their willingness to escalate. Hawk's expression was calm yet sharp. "This was the first round," he said. "They're adapting. And so are we. Remember this. We survive because we predict, because we improvise, because we never stop moving. Today they learned about us. Tomorrow, we'll show them why humanity can't be controlled." Across the galaxy, word of the engagement spread. Allied species whispered of human audacity, and enemies reconsidered assumptions about this fragile blue planet. The message was simple but potent. Humans are unpredictable, dangerous, and unafraid. And somewhere in orbit, the alien envoy convened with the fleet's council. Reports flooded in of missed strikes, failed predictions, and a species that defied expectation. The council murmured, tense and uncertain. The humans weren't just fighters. They were anomalies, living variables that could not be calculated, anticipated, or controlled. Back on Earth, Hawk watched the horizon, engines cooling, thoughts racing. "We've made our statement," he said quietly to Kara, "but the galaxy won't forget this. They won't underestimate us again, not for a long time. And when they come back, we'll be ready." Kara nodded, scanning the skies where distant shadows of alien crafts lingered. "And we'll strike first again." The first engagement had ended, but the war for recognition, for respect, and for survival was only beginning. Humanity had made its mark, and the universe would take notice. While Hawk and Kara battled above the Atlantic, a quieter war was unfolding deep within Earth's command centers. Dr. Alara Voss hunched over her array of monitors, fingers flying across the keyboard, tracing the alien energy pulses like a pianist reading a complex score. The human pilots in the sky were only part of the battle. The real edge lay in understanding, predicting, and exploiting what the aliens didn't know humanity could do. Her assistant, a young engineer named Milo, glanced nervously at her. "Dr. Voss, the satellites are showing new energy patterns. They're evolving faster than before." Alara didn't flinch. "Exactly. That's why we have to evolve faster. Every time they adapt, we adapt twice as fast. Our advantage isn't strength, it's intelligence." On the ground, engineers and military tech specialists were scrambling to integrate captured alien devices with human systems. Some components glowed with unfamiliar energy. Others hummed with vibrations that made the hairs on the back of their necks stand up. One misstep could trigger catastrophic failure, or worse, alert the aliens to humanity's intentions. Alara moved between screens, overlaying tactical simulations with energy models of the alien fleet. She wasn't just plotting attacks. She was predicting them, calculating potential responses to every human maneuver. In many ways, she was the hidden wingman every pilot in the sky relied upon, though few knew her name. Suddenly, one screen pulsed violently. An energy signature was detected near the Mediterranean, smaller alien crafts, scouts probing human defenses. Milo froze. "They're testing us again." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "Not testing, learning. They think they're teaching us limits, but limits are human inventions. We'll exploit what they leave exposed." Thousands of kilometers away in Geneva, political leaders monitored her analysis. Diplomats who had argued for negotiation now watched in awe as Ilara's models guided rapid response teams, showing the exact angles, speeds, and trajectories the pilots needed. Her calculations were not just science, they were strategy, turning human intellect into a weapon. Meanwhile, back at Nellis, Hawk and Kara executed maneuvers in perfect synchrony, unaware that every pulse they dodged, every missile they launched was guided in part by Ilara's work. It was an invisible collaboration. The sky fought by pilots, the ground fought by minds. Ilara leaned back for a moment, letting herself breathe. If they think we're just pilots, they're wrong. We're everywhere. We're every step ahead. Milo exhaled, a mix of fear and exhilaration. It's like we're all part of one organism. Thinking, moving, reacting. Ilara allowed herself a small smile. Exactly. And when humans move together, we're unstoppable. Today it's F-22s in the sky. Tomorrow, who knows? The first cracks in the alien strategy were already appearing. The scouts had retreated, patterns in their formations now erratic, revealing vulnerabilities. Humanity had made its mark in the sky, but behind the scenes, the real war was for knowledge, for adaptation, and for the unseen advantage that only humans could wield. In a galaxy that valued protocol and prediction, humans had discovered a secret weapon: themselves. The sky above the Atlantic was no longer a place for reconnaissance. It had become a proving ground. Hawk led his raptors in a tight formation, slicing through clouds with precision born of countless drills, each jet a streak of silver determination. Missiles armed, engines screaming, the squadron was humanity's first real statement to the galaxy. We do not negotiate, we act. Kara, take left flank. Watch their reinforcements. They're moving faster than before, Hawk ordered, voice calm yet commanding. Kara, Shadow Nguyen banked sharply, eyes tracking alien scouts weaving with unnatural agility. Her fingers danced over the controls, compensating for the pulses of energy that distorted sensors. Every maneuver she executed was razor-sharp, a deadly ballet performed at supersonic speed. Below, Dr. Ilara Voss monitored feeds from satellites, drones, and early warning systems. They're regrouping, she said, tone steady despite the rising tension. But we've already identified weak points in their formations. If the pilots hit them now, we can disrupt their coordination completely. Hawk nodded, though Kara couldn't see it. All wings target the southern cruiser's energy panels. Precision strikes only. If we hit these, the rest of the fleet falters. The first missiles streaked toward the alien vessel, arcs of fire tracing elegant, deadly paths. Explosions blossomed across its hull, sending smaller fighters scattering in confusion. The alien fleet reacted, deploying waves of defensive pulses and accelerating fighter wings to intercept. Yet humans were ready. Kara executed a split maneuver, dodging 2 pulses and firing in tandem at 2 alien fighters. One disintegrated mid-air, the second tumbled into the ocean below. Hawk's formation synchronized, each raptor anticipating the next, moving as if connected by thought rather than radio. From orbit, the alien envoy observed the unfolding chaos. His expression darkened. They're coordinating too well. They're learning in real time. Adaptation, faster than anything we expected. On Earth, engineers and analysts worked in perfect harmony. Every missile launch, every evasive maneuver was supplemented by calculations from command centers, satellite relays, and Ilara's predictive models. Humanity's advantage wasn't just skill, it was intellect amplified by instinct, strategy fused with improvisation. A sudden pulse from the alien cruiser sent turbulence tearing through Hawk's formation. Jets shook violently, HUDs flickered, and systems threatened to fail. Manual override engaged, Hawk said calmly. Stay in formation, compensate for vector anomalies. Kara gritted her teeth, twisting her jet mid-air. I've got your 6, Hawk. Let's show them why humans adapt faster than machines. As missiles hit, energy panels of the alien cruiser flared and sputtered. The smaller fighters hesitated, coordination faltering as their parent vessel's systems went offline. The human pilots pressed the attack, relentless and precise, exploiting the chaos they had engineered. Back at Geneva, Ilara allowed herself a rare smile. They think they can control the sky, but the sky belongs to the ones who adapt first. And humans, we adapt best. The southern cruiser erupted in violet and orange flames, scattering nearby alien fighters. Hawk's voice cut through comms, calm yet fierce. All wings, maintain offensive. This is not a drill. Humanity moves forward. We strike first, we strike smart, and we do not relent. Above the ocean, the raptor formation roared in unison. Humanity was no longer reacting, they were initiating, dictating the flow of battle. Every pulse, every missile, every twist and dive sent a clear message to the alien fleet. Humans were not to be underestimated, and as the alien ships faltered under the relentless precision of the F-22s, one truth crystallized for all who watched. The galaxy had never encountered a species like humanity before. Unpredictable, relentless, unstoppable. While Hawk and Kara carved arcs of fire across the sky, the world below reacted in ways no alien could predict. Governments convened emergency councils, not to debate whether to fight, but to coordinate the unprecedented response of a species suddenly thrown into galactic relevance. The fear was real, but so was exhilaration. Humanity had always imagined threats beyond Earth, yet now the imagination had become reality. In Geneva, political leaders monitored Dr. Ilara Voss's calculations, but they also faced the human element, the fear, hope, and pride of billions. Ambassador Lila Mendoza, mid-50s, sharp-featured and unyielding, addressed her staff. "This is bigger than any protocol, bigger than treaties. Humanity has proven something the galaxy hasn't seen before. We are alive. We are unpredictable. And for better or worse, we have to act like it." Meanwhile, in New York, journalists scrambled to cover what had become the story of a lifetime. Crowds gathered around screens, watching as F-22s streaked through clouds, missiles tearing into alien crafts, contrails marking the dawn of a new era. People cheered, cried, and for the first time in centuries felt united. Humanity was no longer isolated in its fears. It had entered the stage of cosmic consequence. Back in the alien fleet, tensions rose. The envoy's report sparked debates among the council. Some suggested retreat, others insisted on counterattack. Confusion reigned. The humans' unpredictability had shattered their calculations. "They are evolving mid-conflict," one council member hissed. "They improvise. They coordinate without our protocols. We cannot anticipate them." On the ground, engineers worked frantically to integrate captured alien technology into defensive and offensive systems. Milo, Ilara's assistant, stared at the glowing panels. "It's beautiful in a terrifying way. They didn't expect us to figure this out so fast." Ilara's eyes were sharp. They expected rules. They expected restraint. But humans, we create our own rules. And when the galaxy underestimates us, that's when we strike. Across cities worldwide, civilians participated in indirect ways. Satellite-fed defense systems, emergency communication networks, and early warning radars all fed data into human operations, bridging the gap between ordinary life and interstellar conflict. It was a subtle rebellion, a quiet demonstration that the fight wasn't just for pilots in the sky. It was for every human who refused to bow. Above the clouds, Hawk and Kara intercepted another wave of alien fighters. Kara muttered, "They think breaking our formation will stop us. They don't realize humans adapt as a species, not just as pilots." Hawk's voice cut through the comms. "Exactly. Every action we take isn't just for this battle. It's a message. Every strike, every maneuver, let the galaxy understand. Humans cannot be controlled, predicted, or intimidated." As explosions lit the sky in violet and orange, both above Earth and across political and civilian networks, a new reality emerged. Humanity was not just defending its planet, it was asserting its presence in the galaxy. Diplomacy, tradition, and fear held no sway here. The world watched. The aliens calculated. And somewhere in that balance, humans discovered the true power of unity. Instinct, intellect, and courage combined. In the unfolding chaos, one undeniable truth emerged. When humans act together, they are unstoppable, not just as individuals, but as a species. The battle had raged for hours, yet above the Atlantic, the humans' momentum began to meet a new, terrifying challenge. The alien fleet, which had seemed reactive and cautious, suddenly shifted strategy. Massive energy ripples pulsed across the sky, forcing Hawk and his Raptors into emergency maneuvers. The patterns of the enemy fighters changed, more coordinated, more aggressive, and eerily predictive. "Kara, they're learning faster than we anticipated." Hawk shouted over the comms, gripping his controls tighter as his HUD flickered under the strain of energy pulses. "I see it," Kara responded, eyes narrowing. "They're anticipating our moves, predicting our turns. This isn't just reaction, it's calculation." Below, Dr. Ilara Voss froze over her console. Satellite feeds showed the sudden emergence of massive alien drones hidden in the storm clouds, previously undetected. They were small, agile, and capable of disrupting communications, navigation, and targeting systems. Her voice was tense but precise. They've deployed stealth drones. They're interfering with radar and HUD systems. This isn't a normal offensive. They're adapting in real time, using the very battlefield to their advantage. Hawk's squadron fought desperately to maintain formation. The Raptor engines roared, contrails twisting violently through storm-choked skies. One by one, minor systems flickered as the alien interference escalated. Pilots executed split-second improvisations, barrel rolls, dives, and climbing spirals, dodging energy arcs that had never been seen in previous engagements. The alien envoy observed from the flagship, eyes glowing violet. "They adapt too well," he murmured to the council. "Every move we predict is already countered. We need a new strategy or we lose everything." The turning point hit like a thunderclap. A massive pulse from the lead cruiser struck a human vessel's wing, sending sparks and smoke trailing into the sky. Hawk banked sharply, narrowly avoiding disaster. Kara dove low, missiles arcing in perfect tandem to intercept alien reinforcements. But for the first time, the humans felt the weight of vulnerability. On Earth, Alara recalculated, her fingers moving faster than thought. "We can't rely solely on pilot instincts this time. We need multi-layered coordination, satellite targeting, ground-based lasers, tactical timing. They're forcing us to fight smarter, not just harder." Hawk's voice over comms was calm but fierce, rallying his squadron. Eyes sharp, wings steady. "We adapt, we survive. We strike where they least expect it. Remember, humans don't just react. We create opportunities in chaos." Then came the moment that defined the mid-battle twist. A colossal alien energy spike, unlike anything seen before, threatened to overwhelm the Raptor's shields. Yet in a combination of ingenuity and instinct, Hawk ordered a coordinated dive, using the storm clouds and sun glare to shield them. The pulse struck the clouds instead, detonating in a spectacular cascade of violet and gold light. Kara shouted with exhilaration, adrenaline pumping. "We turned it against them." The alien fleet faltered, their precision temporarily compromised. The humans had survived the mid-battle twist not through brute force, but through creativity, courage, and adaptive thinking. Yet the scale of the encounter had changed. They now understood the aliens could innovate just as quickly as humans, forcing both sides to escalate their tactics. Above the Atlantic, the sky burned with light and fury. Below, command centers hummed with data streams and rapid-fire decisions. Humanity had faced its first real test against an intelligent, adaptive opponent, and had not just survived but learned. The midpoint was clear. The galaxy had underestimated humans. But now, humans realized the battle would demand more than skill. It would demand brilliance under fire, and the courage to strike first even when the outcome was uncertain. The mid-battle twist had rattled both sides. Above the Atlantic, the alien fleet's formations were no longer seamless. Their coordination, though still formidable, had gaps, flashes of hesitation that Hawk and his Raptors were quick to exploit. "All wings, tighten formation. Target exposed energy cores," Hawk commanded, voice calm but electrifying over the comms. The squadron banked sharply, a synchronized silver arrow piercing through the storm-swirled clouds. Missiles streaked toward the cruisers, flares and countermeasures exploding around them. Kara Shadow Nguyen looped in tight formation with two other pilots. Weaving between alien drones that flared with violet energy, she fired in rapid succession, watching as one of the smaller crafts disintegrated mid-air. "Core exposed at 2 o'clock, she shouted. Hawk confirmed with a nod over comms. The alien envoy's composure began to crack. They're learning, adapting, anticipating. His voice was low but urgent. He signaled for a shift in strategy, sending reinforcements from the rear to plug the gaps in their formation. Energy pulses flared, painting the clouds violet and gold as ships collided mid-air in chaotic bursts. Hawk adjusted his tactics. "They're trying to trap us, predictive maneuvers. We counter by dividing formation. Shadow, take the left flank and draw their attention. I'll push straight through with Vipers 1 and 3. Timing is everything." Kara's jet dipped, banking sharply through the alien defenses. Her missiles streaked in tandem with Hawk's squadron, detonating near the cruiser's weakened panels. Energy arcs erupted, cascading like fireworks across the massive hull. The smaller alien fighters faltered, forced into defensive maneuvers. Below, Dr. Alara Voss monitored every feed. Her fingers flew across the console, adjusting satellite targeting and relaying critical vectors to the pilots. Expose their southern wing. Overload the shields there. They won't recover in time. The human offensive escalated. Ground-based lasers joined the fray, lancing beams that intersected with missiles mid-air, amplifying the explosions. Navy ships fired with precision, creating crossfires that left the alien fighters scrambling. Humanity had turned coordination and innovation into an unstoppable weapon, each system enhancing the other. Kara's comms buzzed with exhilaration. They thought splitting us would slow us down. They don't realize humans fight as one organism. Hawk's voice, calm but commanding, rang out. Remember, we dictate the pace. Every pulse they fire, every move they make, we've anticipated it. Strike smart, strike fast, and keep moving. We do not pause. The southern cruiser erupted in a brilliant cascade of violet and orange. Energy shields collapsed under the barrage, forcing nearby drones into chaotic retreat. The alien fleet's formation fractured further, panic briefly flashing across their sensors. For the first time, they were reacting instead of dictating, forced to respond to human strategy. Yet Hawk knew this was only the beginning. The aliens would regroup and the final confrontation was inevitable. But in these moments, humanity had seized the initiative, turning chaos into advantage. Every pilot maneuvered with precision, every missile found its mark, and every calculation from Earth's command centers amplified the squadron's effectiveness. Kara grinned behind her visor. This is what humans do best. They improvise, adapt, and strike when the odds are against them. We're not just surviving. We're showing them what humanity is capable of. Hawk's eyes scanned the horizon. Smoke, fire, and plasma arcs painted the sky in vivid patterns. The Raptor formation roared forward, relentless and synchronized. Humanity had turned defense into offense, unpredictability into strategy, and the galaxy's miscalculations into opportunity. The rising action reached its peak. Humanity had taken control of the battle, but the alien fleet was far from defeated. The stage was set for a confrontation that would decide not just the outcome of this engagement, but the future perception of humans across the stars. Above the Atlantic, the sun broke through storm clouds, glinting off contrails, missile trails, and energy arcs. The sky was a canvas of chaos and courage. Humanity was not waiting for the next move. They were creating it, and the galaxy would never forget it. The alien fleet's remnants hovered tens of kilometers above the Atlantic, their crescent-shaped motherships battered, shields flickering but still menacing. Energy arcs streaked across storm-laden skies, lightning interlacing with missile trails, creating a chaotic symphony of war. Hawk's F-22 formation cut through the turbulence, engines screaming, contrails glowing like silver knives against violet and gold explosions. Hawk to all wings. His voice rang out over comms, steady and commanding. This is it. Focus on the lead cruiser. Disable it and the rest of their fleet will falter. Keep formation tight. Strike together. Humanity does not hesitate. Kara Shadow Nguyen banked sharply, eyes flickering between HUD displays and the mass of alien ships. Her hands moved like lightning, executing evasive maneuvers while guiding missiles toward exposed energy cores. Each pulse of alien fire she dodged was met with human precision. Lasers from Earth's satellites lanced through clouds, missiles arcing perfectly toward hull weak points, and the pilot's instincts turning chaos into opportunity. The flagship released waves of drones in desperate counterattacks. They swarmed like hornets, violet energy blades lancing out at every Raptor. Hawk's squadron reacted instantly, splitting and converging, weaving around the onslaught in tight coordination. Explosions lit up the sky as alien drones were intercepted mid-air, obliterated by missiles and defensive countermeasures. Shadow, cover my 6. Vipers 1 through 3, fire now. Hawk shouted, commanding the strike. The southern cruiser erupted in a massive explosion, shields shattering in a cascade of violet light, debris scattering into the clouds. The mothership staggered, their formations breaking as smaller alien fighters panicked, unable to recover without the guidance of the lead vessel. From orbit, Dr. Alara Voss monitored every detail. Their system integrity is collapsing. We've destabilized their fleet. The pilots need one final coordinated push. They can finish this. The alien envoy's face contorted in disbelief. Calculations, predictions, adaptive algorithms, all had failed to contain these humans. They had expected diplomacy, then underestimated human ingenuity. And now the very fabric of their fleet was unraveling under relentless, calculated defiance. Hawk's comms crackled with exhilaration. All wings target the remaining cruisers. Precision and timing strike together. Show them what humanity does when underestimated. The Raptors dove with lethal intent, engines screaming, missiles blazing. Kara weaved through the collapsing drone swarms, guiding her strike toward the central cruiser's core. Sparks and fire erupted as her missiles struck simultaneously with Hawk's coordinated attack. Violet energy cascaded across the flagship's hull, arcs of light licking the clouds, igniting a chain reaction. The remaining alien vessels faltered, their formation broken, systems overloaded, drones disabled, shields failing. Hawk banked his jet, observing the alien flagship spiraling out of control, smoke trailing as explosions ripped through its hull. Humanity's strategy, precision, and relentless audacity had shattered their command structure. "Shadow, we did it," Hawk said, voice tight with adrenaline. Kara's grin was visible even through her visor. "This is what humans do. When cornered, when underestimated, we adapt, we strike, and we endure." Across the globe, humans watched in awe as live feeds captured the final destruction. Civilians cheered, military analysts whispered incredulously, and every government official recognized the same truth. Earth had fought not only to survive, but to assert its place in the galaxy. The alien envoy, battered and humbled, transmitted a signal to retreat. The message was clear: humanity was not to be trifled with, not to be underestimated, and certainly not to be predicted. Above the Atlantic, Hawk's formation regrouped, engines glowing, contrails cutting clean lines through the aftermath of the storm. Kara's voice was steady, calm, yet filled with triumph. "We showed them. They expected diplomacy. We gave them humanity." Hawk's eyes scanned the horizon where smoke and debris rose from the shattered alien fleet. "And they'll remember it. Every corner of the galaxy will. Humans don't negotiate when threatened. Humans adapt. Humans endure. And sometimes humans strike first." Below, Dr. Ilara Voss exhaled, allowing herself a rare smile. Humanity had done more than survive. They had demonstrated ingenuity, courage, and audacity that no alien logic could anticipate. Every pilot, every strategist, every civilian who contributed to the battle had proven the same truth. The galaxy had underestimated Earth, and it would never make that mistake again. The sky above cleared slightly, sunlight piercing through clouds and contrails alike. The roar of engines faded into the distance, but the echo of humanity's defiance resonated across oceans, continents, and light years beyond. The climax was over. Humanity had prevailed not through diplomacy, not through fear, but through ingenuity, courage, and unyielding resolve. The galaxy had learned its first lesson: never underestimate humans. The battle was over, yet its reverberations stretched far beyond the Atlantic skies. Alien ships, battered and broken, limped away into orbit, their fleet shattered, morale fractured, and strategies in tatters. Across the galaxy, word of humanity's audacity traveled faster than any light-speed communication. Humans had not negotiated. They had acted, and the result was devastatingly clear. On Earth, pilots returned to air bases under thunderous applause, their jets streaking toward hangars with engines still roaring. Hawk and Kara led their squadron in a ceremonial flypast, contrails carving patterns of defiance and triumph across the sky. Civilians gathered in streets and on rooftops, cheering, waving flags, capturing moments on every camera. The world had witnessed what few believed possible: humanity's first true interstellar victory. In global command centers, the atmosphere was electric. Analysts, engineers, and strategists pored over battle data, refining simulations and documenting every maneuver, every strike. Dr. Ilara Voss allowed herself a rare moment to relax, watching her models confirm what she had hoped. The aliens had underestimated humanity at every turn. "They learned the hard way," she murmured. "Humans fight differently. Humans think differently. And they adapt faster than anything else in the galaxy." Political leaders convened emergency sessions, not to negotiate terms with the aliens, but to celebrate unity and recognize humanity's newfound status. Ambassador Lila Mendoza addressed the council, voice ringing with conviction. "The galaxy has learned something essential. Humans are unpredictable, innovative, and courageous. Today we have not only defended our planet, We have reshaped how the universe perceives us. Across the Atlantic, the remnants of alien vessels were analyzed and studied. Military strategists debated, theorized, and marveled at humanity's ingenuity. Every strike, every maneuver, every adaptive decision had been magnified by intelligence, coordination, and instinct. The aliens had expected diplomacy, and in response they had received the full force of human ingenuity. Meanwhile, Hawk and Kara debriefed with the squadron. Exhausted, exhilarated, and proud, they reflected on the mission. Hawk's gaze swept the horizon. "We didn't just fight," he said quietly. "We showed them what humans are capable of. They underestimated our courage, our intelligence, and they will never do it again." Kara nodded, a small smile beneath her helmet. "We defended Earth, yes, but we also proved a point. Humanity isn't just a species, they're a force. And now every corner of the galaxy knows it, even the alien envoy. Retreating to distant space sent a communication that resonated across interstellar networks, a grudging acknowledgement of humanity's capabilities. Their calculations had failed, their assumptions shattered. The message was clear. Humans were not to be negotiated with lightly, feared lightly, or underestimated ever again. As night fell over Earth, lights glimmered across cities, oceans, and skies, reflecting the resilience and ingenuity of a species that had faced the unknown and prevailed. Humanity had endured its first true test beyond its planet. They had struck first, adapted faster, and emerged victorious. The galaxy would remember this day. The galaxy would remember humanity. And humanity, for the first time, understood something even more profound. It was not just their weapons or their technology that made them formidable. It was their courage, creativity, and unyielding will to survive, adapt, and triumph against impossible odds. The skies above Earth had cleared, but the echoes of the battle stretched far beyond the horizon. Humanity had faced a force unlike any before, not with negotiations or speeches, but with precision, courage, and the indomitable will to survive. The alien fleet had retreated humbled, and the universe had witnessed something it could not ignore. Humans do not bend easily, and when cornered, they strike with unparalleled ingenuity. In the aftermath, Earth was alive with celebration, reflection, and planning. Civilians, scientists, and military personnel alike understood the truth that had been carved into the clouds by F-22 Raptors. Humanity was unpredictable, relentless, and united. Every pilot, every strategist, every mind that contributed had proven that adaptability and courage could turn the tide against overwhelming odds. Colonel Hawk Turner and Lieutenant Kara Shadow Nguyen stood on the tarmac, watching the sun rise over the ocean. "They expected diplomacy," Hawk said quietly. "They got humanity," Kara nodded. "And now the galaxy knows we're not just survivors. We're thinkers, innovators, and fighters, and we won't be underestimated again." Dr. Alara Voss, overseeing satellite systems and energy readings, allowed herself a rare smile. Humanity had demonstrated that intelligence and courage combined were far more formidable than sheer numbers or technology alone. The lesson was clear. When humans act together, creatively and boldly, nothing, not even a superior alien force, can hold them back. As humanity looked to the stars, the future was uncertain, but hope burned brighter than ever. One thing was guaranteed: wherever the galaxy misjudged them, humans would be ready. They would adapt, endure, and rise. The galaxy had expected diplomacy. Humanity had delivered something far greater: proof that courage, ingenuity, and determination define a species, not words, not fear but action, and that, above all, is what makes humans unstoppable.